100. Terry Ukwire, 132. 107.
Well, feeling pretty good, really. I put a bit of practice in last week, and I'm practicing hard again this week. And they're going quite well. So, hopefully, touch wood.
Obviously, it's a tournament you've been in the final before. The atmosphere. When I went last year, it was my first time in the venue. It seems a big venue, but it seems so enclosed as well. And the atmosphere is fantastic.
That's right. Yeah. It's not as big as some of the venues we play in, but that is what makes the atmosphere pretty good. It's a bit like Purfleet. When we used to play at Purfleet in the World Championships, it was a nice small venue and the atmosphere was always good there. Now it's at Ali Pali. It's a massive venue, but they need those venues now to accommodate the crowds that they're getting. So they need to move to those bigger venues, but I think the smaller venues do hold a bit better atmosphere, yeah.
Right, so group stage is first up, first to five in the first round robin stage. Do you like the shorter format?
I don't like the little first to five. That's a bit of a race, that is. But at least it's a round robin format, so you've got that cushion where if you do have a bad game, you can put it right in the next one. I always like the longer formats, really. Sometimes I'm a bit of a slow starter, but I'm good under pressure. If I go 3-0 down or whatever, I'm usually pretty good under pressure. So, and I have been putting the practice in, like I say, and they've been going well. So touch wood.
Well, have a look at your group opponents now. Wes Newton is a player you'll know fairly well, a man who's just yet to make that one leap further in his career so far.
That's right. I mean, at one time, I used to think Wes was quite a good draw, but not anymore. Wes is a really tough player to beat, and fair play to him. He's put the practice in and the effort to get where he has today. So, good luck to him.
We've got the young Dutchman as now, Wesley Harms, a man who's making waves on the BDO side of things. Lakeside semi-finalist last year.
Yeah, I haven't come across him really. I don't think I've seen him play, so I don't know what to expect there, to be honest. But I mean, with Martin Phillips is the other one from the BDO, and I know he's a class player. He's a very steady player, consistent, 100 plus player. So he's going to be a tough opponent.
So many names now in the PDC who are coming through and winning tournaments. Simon Whitlock and Michael Van Geuren in recent weeks. Who are the men in form who we should be looking out for?
Well, I think those are the two, to be honest. Everybody thinks Taylor's always finished, but Taylor's playing better than ever. So he's another one to look out for. But as usual. But I mean, yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Simon Whitlock and Van Geuren are the other two in-form players at the moment.
All the punters like to see a 9-dart finish. We've seen one at the World Match Play. We saw him at the World Grand Prix last year with Brendan Dolan. Do you think we'll see some this week? Andy Smith, your mate, saying we might see 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think you will, to be honest. The way the players are playing at the moment, there's been some. I mean, then at Crawley this weekend, there were some absolutely brilliant games, and I think there's a 9-darter definitely on the cards.
Excellent stuff. We'll tell you, we wish you all the best for next week, and we'll see you in Wolverhampton.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Excellent. With the Pie Man, Andy Smith. Andy, unfortunately you've missed out on the Grand Slam this year, but who do you think's in good form to take the title home?
Well, you got to say Phil Taylor, really. I mean, he's like undisputed world champion, best player that's ever walked. But there are players that are coming up to the mark. I mean, Terry's playing well again now. Simon Whitlock's playing well. Adrian Lewis, world champion. I mean, it is open, but you've got to say Taylor's a favourite.
There seems to be a bit more value around now. People, maybe Taylor's not quite as good as he was, but he's still better than everyone else. But everyone else is raising their game. We've seen Michael Van Geuren and Simon Whitlock both win tournaments in recent months.
Yeah, I forgot about Michael. Michael's playing brilliant. He's had that win. He's won Dublin, and he's got a bit of confidence now. He's won a lot of Players' Championships. It should be a very, very good tournament, and it be very, very interesting to see who comes through the groups and everything. Because you've got the BDO players as well, which I'm not very familiar with, but obviously they can play darts. It should be a very, very good tournament.
Are there any players who are suited to the best of 5 in the group stage more than others, do you think?
Well, you got to pick the PDC players, really. I mean, with the experience. I mean, every week they're playing for big money and they're living and what have you. And basically, if you are a good player, you're going to end up in the PDC because that's where the money is. Barry Earn's done a brilliant job. So you've got to favour the top players that are in the PDC.
The other thing we've seen as well as the young players coming through, some of the veteran players, seen Mervyn King come back against Steve Beaton a couple of years ago, had the great run at this tournament as well.
Yeah. I mean, all the players can play darts, and they are all good, very good players, and you just need your day really. I mean, we all win tournaments and everything else, and if it's your day, it's your week, you could have a good run, because we can all do 9, 12 darters, 15 darters, so it's all. Basically, it's just whether it's your turn.
The 9-dart finish, you mentioned it there. Do you think we'll see it next week?
I think you'll see more than one. I think you'll see a few. Definitely. I really do. Yeah, definitely.
I'll have to make sure the compilers price up more than one 9-dart finish now and get on it. As for you, you've got the Players' Championship finals and the World Championships as well to come.
Yeah, I've had a brilliant, good year. I've done really well for me, really. It's steady. I'm always there. I'm always thereabouts. I've never really done. You know, really good on the TV tour. I've got to last 8 a few times and what have you, but it's, you know, I'm hoping to do well in the Worlds. If you do well in a real big one, then you're up in the top 8 of the world and you're up there. It's brilliant.
Well, we look forward to seeing you action tonight and for the rest of the year as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Game shot on the first leg. Wayne Jones.
Yeah, I love it. It's a bit of added pressure, obviously, because everybody wants you to do well, and I want to do well because I'm in Wolverhampton, obviously. So, but no, so far so good. Apart from the first year, I've had a couple of 3 good runs, so I'm hoping to do the same again this weekend.
How do you find the group stage and the first to 5 format? Bit too short, or do you like it that way?
No, to be honest, a bit short for me. I'd rather have a longer game. It gives you a chance to get away with a few mistakes. I mean, best of 9, you're not going to get away with anything. You miss a few doubles, you're in trouble. So I'd prefer the longer game.
In your group, you've got 2 world champions from Holland. First of all, the man who's currently on top of the BDO pile, Christian Kiss. Do you know much about him?
I know nothing about him. I might have seen him for about 10 minutes last year in the final. I'm not sure I'd know him if I walked into him, to be honest. So I'm hoping he's not going to play well. Pressure on obviously being at Wolverhampton, his first major thing with a big crowd. I mean, the BDO is a quieter crowd than ours. So hopefully they all put him off and it destroys him completely. So that's the plan.
A man who knows plenty about big crowds, obviously, is the 5-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld. How are you feeling about him going into the tournament?
I'm not really too fussed. Obviously, the game I want to win is the first one. It's nice to get a win under your belt, but I mean, Barney and Walshy, Walsh is a good friend of mine. He's a class act. So really, I need to win that first game, take a little bit of pressure off, and then try and pick up a win from one of the other 2. But the first game is a massive game.
You mentioned Mark Walsh. He had a great run at this tournament last year, and he's a player who perhaps some people write off a bit too easily, but a great player on his day.
He's a really methodical player, Mark. He doesn't miss tons and ton 40s, and he's one of the best double top players I've ever seen in my life. If he leaves tops, you've lost. So yeah, it's a tough group. It's probably not as tough as some of people are thinking on paper. But Barney depends on which Barney turns up. If the great Barney turns up with his finishing ability, he's brilliant. If he starts shaking his head, he's going to lose. Kist, as I say, I have no idea. I'm hoping he'll be affected by the crowd. It'll put him off, get a win under the belt. And then perhaps Walsh as a decider. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
How happy are you with your own form coming into the tournament as well?
Yeah, playing really well. I've had a couple of good weekends. Beat Phil a couple of weeks ago in Holland. Probably should have won the tournament and didn't. I played well last weekend. Ian White was just awesome. But generally, my stage form this year has been pretty good.
You mentioned Ian White there, Justin Pike, 2 names who've missed out on the competition this year. It just shows you how deep the talent pool is on the PDC side.
Yeah, I mean, there's several players. I mean, Chizzy as well, Dave Chisholm's not here. So it's nice to be involved, and they're not. So, but even saying that, the 32 players here, it's just a fabulous standard. It comes as it is. I don't mind. You've just got to play well. If I play well, I've got a chance. If I don't, then obviously I'm in trouble.
Are there any other players we should be looking out for outside of your group who could potentially go on meet you in the final, shall we say?
Well, Van Gerwen's on fire this year. He's been awesome. He's won 7 tournaments, I don't know. It takes a lot of doing to win 2 or 3. To win 7 is phenomenal. Simon Whitlock is playing superbly again. Phil's on and off, but if he's on, he's going to take some stopping. So I think Whitlock, Van Gerwen and Taylor are probably the main three to be looking out for this year.
Andy Smith promised us a few moments ago we'll see at least 2 9-darters next week. Do you think that's the case? Or at least one anyway?
It's certainly possible. As I say, there's a lot of players coming into this tournament in decent form. Maybe not in the early stages, but as the games kick on to sort of best of 19, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, the crowd will be behind you all week. We'll see you next week as well. Wayne Jones, good luck.
Thank you very much. I'll be trying. Cheers.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
100.